The Federal Drug Enforcement Administration says a week-long cartel crackdown led to nearly 200 arrests just in New England. The DEA says they were all members of the Sinaloa Cartel, the largest drug cartel in the world.
EA says it's cracking down on a major drug syndicate at work in New England, the Sinaloa Cartel. In the last week, agents arrested more than 171 people in New England. The DEA seized 500 plus pounds of methamphetamine.
In early October 2025, federal teams launched a major coordinated action across New England, uncovering a widespread criminal network operating quietly in the region. What started as routine monitoring quickly turned into the largest organized crime enforcement action in Boston's history. More than 200 individuals were taken into custody, and large amounts of harmful illegal items and suspicious financial materials were secured. Officials described it as a clear message to every organized group attempting to operate in the United States. Enforcement efforts are active, strong, and closer than ever to local communities.
71 arrests throughout New England. Does that make a dent?
We're the DEA. We're not going after low-level retail drug traffickers. We are going after drug trafficking organizations.
Of those detained, 171 individuals were confirmed to be linked with a dangerous international crime organization. Massachusetts recorded 49 arrests, Connecticut 64, and New Hampshire 33. According to officials, this became the most significant criminal network disruption ever documented in New England. It marked the first time investigators uncovered a fully functioning branch of an overseas organization operating like a corporate structure within the region.
One saw the highest number of regional arrests at 171, with 49 in Massachusetts, 33 in New Hampshire. Connecticut saw the most at 64. Do you think people would be surprised to learn how many?
Authorities secured more than 500 pounds of dangerous illegal substances, including highly harmful synthetic compounds and other prohibited materials. Over 22,000 unsafe imitation tablets intended to appear as legitimate medicine were also removed from circulation. Officers found multiple unauthorized weapons and large sums of currency, including digital assets tied to international financial activity. The results showed a sophisticated, well-funded operation expanding quietly through suburban areas. Some warehouses that appeared legitimate were being used to conceal illegal shipments. Delivery workers, freight staff, and warehouse employees were connected to a logistics chain moving prohibited goods disguised as everyday freight. Investigators later revealed that ordinary-looking delivery trucks were secretly carrying sealed illegal packages between regular cargo loads.
Jared Forget, the special agent in charge of DEA's New England Field Division, says last week the DEA set out to arrest as many members of the Mexico-based Sinaloa cartel as possible. New England saw the highest.
Officials referred to the effort as part of America's strengthened Northern Region security mission. For years, New England had been treated mainly as a destination market rather than a transit hub. This operation proved that a major organization had quietly integrated into legitimate-looking business systems, establishing infrastructure far from border checkpoints. The mission, called Operation New Dawn, was planned for months by the DEA's New England Field Division under the leadership of Special Agent Jared Forget. More than 600 personnel from federal, state, and local agencies participated in a coordinated 7-day series of actions. Among the seized evidence were thousands of imitation pharmaceutical tablets stamped to resemble trusted medication brands, an example of how criminal groups attempt to combine chemistry, branding manipulation, and modern logistics to drive illegal trade disguised as legitimate commerce.
What's their number one product they push? Is it the pills?
So we see fentanyl powder and we see counterfeit pills that are made to look like legitimate pills, notably M30s.
Digital forensic teams followed the trail even deeper. They traced communications, transactions, and instructions across encrypted messaging apps and hidden online servers. Platforms built for social networking had quietly become illegal marketplaces for harmful substances. Analysts identified 4 courier networks using everyday delivery routes, including ride-share drivers, major parcel companies, and postal systems, to transport prohibited items disguised as ordinary packages. Items moved through regular shipping channels with altered tracking data and modified labels. Online posts appeared promoting study aid-style tablets at the start of the school year, but behind each bright capsule image was a dangerous and illegal formula. Laboratory tests revealed these imitation pills contained extremely harmful synthetic compounds in highly dangerous amounts, enough to seriously harm a healthy adult. This was not accidental misuse. It was intentional manufacturing designed to trap individuals through dependency and repeated use.
Those are counterfeit oxycodone. But Forget says they're also increasingly seeing counterfeit stimulant pills made to look like Adderall.
Investigators also found that criminal groups were using artificial intelligence tools to generate realistic product descriptions, brand names, and advertisement templates. Each promotion appeared identical to a genuine nutritional supplement or academic performance booster. Once someone placed an order, the transaction moved through encrypted payment channels. Digital wallets and peer-to-peer apps concealed the money trail. Within hours, a courier delivered a small package labeled as vitamins or study tablets. One officer explained the threat clearly. A young person could unknowingly request something extremely dangerous with just a few taps on their phone. This statement was not an exaggeration. 5 out of 10 imitation tablets tested were capable of causing fatal harm. Buyers rarely understood what they were receiving. The capsules appeared safe and familiar.
I'm a DEA agent. I cannot tell the difference between a fake one and a real one. So we need to remind parents, schools, caregivers, everybody in the community, have those conversations with each other, have them with your kids.
Forget says
Every seized batch traced back to the same supply pathway. Production facilities overseas were receiving chemical ingredients from another foreign source. The imitation tablets appearing in classrooms and suburban neighborhoods began as bulk chemical shipments crossing the ocean. After arrival, they were processed, pressed, packaged, and branded, then transported north disguised as legitimate trade goods. This discovery reshaped how law enforcement viewed the threat. The issue was no longer limited to hidden labs or border area smuggling. It had evolved into a technology-driven system embedded within everyday commerce, taking advantage of convenience culture, digital tools, and global logistics to blend into society while causing extreme harm.
Operation. He says the vast Sinaloa network has deep roots in New England.
They're our public enemy number one.
Officials stated that this international network had deep roots in New England. They emphasized that it had become the top priority for federal enforcement. The directive expanded authority for the Drug Enforcement Administration, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and the Treasury Department. Teams could now request national security-level seizure warrants, require cooperation from foreign banks, and pursue extradition of overseas financiers supporting criminal operations. Under this framework, prosecutors built the first national security case focused on chemical ingredients rather than finished illegal substances.
Many members of the Mexico-based Sinaloa cartel as possible. New England saw the highest number of regional arrests at 171, with 49 in Massachusetts, 33 in New Hampshire. Connecticut saw the most at 64. Do you think
Former acting ICE Director Jonathan Fauci supported the decision, noting it gave law enforcement the same tools once used to dismantle extremist networks. His remarks highlighted the scale of harm in the United States, where more than 100,000 lives are lost annually due to harmful synthetic substances. He described the crisis not as a criminal trend, but as a threat to the nation's well-being. The Treasury Department then moved decisively, freezing multi-million-dollar accounts tied to a state-affiliated overseas chemical supplier and sanctioning 3 executives connected to precursor exports. Investigators found the company's products linked to at least 9 major seizures over 4 years. Sanctions also targeted 2 banks accused of moving illicit proceeds through international accounts. This financial pressure severed a major supply channel between overseas chemical producers and domestic distributors, demonstrating the United States' willingness to treat drug financing as a national security threat.
Turn this into the deadly cocktail of fentanyl. The drug cartels then use pill presses that the Chinese have sold to them at cost to produce these pills, which are killing so many Americans, and then the money laundering aspect.
Political experts labeled this new approach the chemical containment strategy. It combined arrests, financial sanctions, and international trade restrictions into one national security doctrine. The objective was not only to arrest traffickers, but to isolate chemical suppliers and global financiers from the world economy. The strategy mirrored previous counter-extremism methods, targeting funding, limiting access to technology, and enforcing multinational sanctions. Intelligence teams soon mapped a global pipeline. Chemical ingredients left ports in Asia, traveled to industrial hubs in Mexico, and then moved north through major U.S. cities before reaching Boston. What once resembled traditional smuggling routes had evolved into a 3-stage logistics network that looked like legitimate global commerce. Large cargo vessels replaced covert border crossings, and commercial ports became the new front line.
The drug cartels 20 years ago used banks in Latin America. They're now using state-owned banks. So this is a strategic initiative by China to punish and damage the United States.
Data from ICE and Homeland Security confirmed the shift. Maritime smuggling of chemical precursors increased 63% year-over-year, while land route seizures dropped 42%. Criminal organizations discovered that ocean transport offered scale and cover. Each container ship carried thousands of barrels, and only a limited number could be inspected. This forced federal agencies to rely on chemical signature scanning systems and predictive AI to identify suspicious cargo patterns. Leaders stressed that the Boston operation was not the conclusion, but the opening phase of a broader effort. DEA headquarters called the mission both a public safety milestone and a national security alert. The takedown disrupted a major East Coast supply chain, but it also exposed how deeply the network had embedded itself, operating in nearly every major metropolitan area through drivers, online distributors, and digital couriers posing as legitimate workers.
The bottom line is this is a Chinese operation. The drug cartels are
Officials emphasized that the organization maintained activity in more than 40 countries and every U.S. state. They described its structure as similar to a multinational corporation operating an illegal business model. Synthetic substance-related fatalities remained the leading cause of death for Americans ages 18 to 45, underscoring that Boston's achievement, while significant, was one step in a long fight. Federal prosecutors prepared a new wave of cases using both RICO and national security statutes. These charges targeted street-level distributors, foreign suppliers, and financial intermediaries. For the first time, overseas chemical executives and logistics managers could face extradition under national security laws. Simultaneously, financial crime units built cases against U.S. citizens who created shell companies and banking channels for money laundering. The Justice Department aimed to cut off every operational tier simultaneously. Public health officials highlighted a decline in overdose-related fatalities in the months following the operation and credited federal enforcement for preventing thousands of potential deaths. However, they noted that networks regenerate quickly, production abroad continued, and online sellers constantly rebuilt digital channels on new platforms. This pushed federal strategy toward proactive chemical defense tactics rather than reaction alone. The Boston operation proved that no criminal network is beyond reach. Subscribe for more verified federal enforcement updates and national security reporting across the United States.